Hey, just down below the video, if you click like, that'll make sure that YouTube shows this video to more people. Thanks. The building blocks for learning regex in Excel. There's over 2,500 videos here at MrExcel, mrx.cl/GPT. You can come here, type your question, repeat a pivot table for each customer. It's going to give you a short summary of the videos, and then it's going to give you links to the videos where I talked about it. Of every word that I've spoken on YouTube in over 15 years, mrx.cl/GPT. Give it a try. After watching this video, you'll have all the building blocks you need to put together regex. Make sure to download this tip card, 2 pages, with a summary of everything we're going to talk about today. Okay, in the previous video, we talked about these 3 new functions that came to Excel: RegExTest, RegExExtract, RegExReplace. And I had mentioned that I had a RegEx 101, but that I'd do it in another video. So this is that video. This hopefully will just get you up to speed. I have to tell you, in all the years up until the point that it was in Excel, I was horrible at regex. I would always just go ask a friend how to do it. But after studying this, it's really not that hard. It's pretty simple to understand. Okay, so let's just start off. Put some letters in the pattern, D, E, F. That's saying that I want the letters D, E, F in sequence. All right, but there might be something where we want either the letter D or E or F. And so that's in square brackets. This is a letter group, and that will match if there's a D, E, or F. But sometimes you don't want to have to type the whole thing. Like D to H will give us one letter from the letters D through H. So here's a whole bunch of different examples. We're looking for D, E, F, and the only one that has those 3 letters exactly is A, B, C, D, E, F. None of the others match. But if we ask for square bracket D, E, F, then that's anything that has a D anywhere in it. This one, this, all match. Or a wider variety, D through H, picks up the G, 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 and the H, H, H. All right, so square brackets means one of the items in this group, and you're allowed to have a dash in the middle. All right, next up. What if you want to start with a particular bit of text? So the cell has to start with the, put a caret before it. Caret, THE, will start with the. Or if it has to end with something, end $, will end with end. All right, now, just, like right up front, we have to talk about this super annoying thing that the caret, it has 2 different meanings. This has happened before in Excel, like the F4 key puts $signs in if you're in edit mode, or repeats last command if you're not in edit mode. It's just, it has 2 jobs. Well, here in regex, the caret inside of a letter group means not X, Y, or Z. All right. So like in this case, this caret is saying it has to start with something that's not A through M. A little confusing that the caret has 2 different meanings, but you'll get used to it. So if we're looking for something that starts with the, there's only one. If we're looking at something that ends with end, it's this one or that one. If we're looking for something that contains a character that's not X, Y, or Z, all right, so this one does not contain a character that's not X, Y, Z, but like everything else, just about, contains characters that aren't X, Y, Z. This one is actually far wider. Like it means that it contains a character that's A through Z, capital, A through W, lowercase, any of the digits 0 to 9, any of the special characters. So, and then this is one that starts with something that's not A through M. So like a lot of these start with something that's not A through M. Even the I, that's a capital I, and we're asking for lowercase A through M. All right, so that starts with and ends with. All right, this is all pretty easy so far, right? Except for the wildcards. Wildcard, a period is a wildcard for any single character, anything. So what if you need to look for an actual period? Then you put a backslash period. So the backslash is kind of a way to escape, to say, hey, regex is using this period to mean something else, a wildcard in this case. Put a backslash before it to say, no, we actually want a real period. There's a lot of special characters. Okay, so in this case, 0 to 9 is looking for any single digit. But there's a beautiful shortcut for that. Backslash D is also the shortcut for any single digit. All right, now let's talk about how to repeat. In this case, the period is looking for any character, and then the 3 is saying we have 3 of that character. Or we want at least 2, but up to 3. So put a comma in between them. So we're looking for a specific repetition. All right, so here, any character, that period means any character, all of these are going to match except for the blank cell because there's no character there. But if we put a backslash period, well, then only the thing that has the period is going to match. Looking for anything with a digit anywhere in it. All right, so we get those two, and all of these have digits, but it's shorter. Just put backslash D. It'll be the exact same answer here. These are identical, column F and G. All right, this is something that has at least 3 characters. So A has only 1 character, doesn't match. This one, the end, has 8 characters total, including the space and the period. But as long as it's more than 3, we get it. These two and these two only have 2 characters, so they don't match here. But they do match here where we're allowing 2 or 3 characters. All right, so that's how you specify that we're looking for a certain number of things. All right, so remember this wildcard is for any single character, or backslash D is for any single digit. We're going to repeat those here under wildcard. So we start out with those two. Period is a wildcard for any single character. Backslash D is any digit. This is a great way. If you want lowercase a to z or uppercase a to z, it looks like this. All right, and then they have something for digits, lowercase a to z, uppercase a to z, and that's backslash W. Lowercase w is the code for any of those. Seems like that'd be really useful. We'll use that one a lot. Backslash capital W means the reverse of that. It's not a to z or lowercase a to z or 0 to 9. This happens a lot where you take the lowercase and you capitalize it and it makes it into a not. Okay, now we're going to talk about spaces here, actually 2 tabs from now. Backslash S is a space or any kind of a white space. There's all kinds of spaces that you might encounter, like a character 160 space, and that'll be handled. And then backslash not a space, not white space, we'll look for something that's a non-space. So here, if we're looking for a digit, that's a match. If we're looking for something that's a letter, well, the 1 is not a match. The exclamation point, not a match. And then the only thing here that doesn't fall into the W. W is a great catch-all. A to Z, uppercase, lowercase, and digits. Special characters like the exclamation point or anything shifted along the top row of your keyboard would be that. And then not a W. All right, so W is A to Z, upper or lower, 0 to 9. Well, what contains not a W? Well, the exclamation point certainly it does, but also here there's a space. So A space Z or A space capital Z, those fall into the not a W. Okay, so now check out these two. This one is saying that we have an A followed by a space followed by a Z. So right there, that one matches. Because it's case sensitive, it's not going to see the capital A space Z. And in this case, it's with the capital S, backslash capital S, says something that's not a space. In other words, we start with an A, we end with a Z, and in the middle, we have a letter. So that A, B, Z there will work. Next up, repetition. All right, so we know backslash D is any digits from 0 to 9, a single digit from 0 to 9. What if we need to look for multiple digits, like 123 Main or 1234 Peyton Place? All right, so the first thing they have, and I hate this one, backslash D asterisk says there's going to be some number of digits. We don't know how many digits. There might be 2 digits. There might be 7 digits. But it's also possible with the asterisk that there might be 0 digits, which is like really weird to me. Like, why are we saying, hey, go, we need a digit here, but in fact, there might be no digits at all. Like, so, backslash D is getting everything here that has a digit. That's great. But backslash D asterisk is also returning things that have 0 digits at all. Right now, in my RegEx journey, this one seems pretty useless. I'm sure there'll be use cases later. But what we really need, I think, is backslash D plus. That says there's a digit, at least one, and maybe more digits in a row, right? So like A1, A12, A123, 1234, 1234, A1Z, like, but when there's no digits, and then it's not going to show up as true for that. All right. The other one that's interesting is there can be a digit, or it's okay to not have a digit, right? But we can't have 2, 3, or 4 digits. So backslash D question mark is specifically 0 or 1 digit. They say that the question mark means that it's optional. There could or could not be a digit there. So the way that I built this is we need a letter from A to Z, lowercase, and then backslash D question mark, and then another letter from A to Z. It's like looking down here. This one fits the pattern. A1Z is a lowercase letter, a 1, and a Z. And then even here, lowercase letter, no digit, and another lowercase letter, those both work. But here where we have A and then 3 digits in a row and then the Z, that one does not work. See, and it's also funny, like all of these are marked as correct because there's no digit. So we have 2 lowercase letters and no digit. All right, if we know specifically that we need 3 digits, \D, and then curly braces 3, or you're allowed to put a range in here, like anywhere from 2 to 4 digits. So curly braces 2, 4 is between 2 and 4 digits, like that. So here, \D3, it's only the ones that have 3 digits in a row. All right, but also 4 digits and 5 digits, because these have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's definitely there, so it finds the pattern. Even A999Z with 3 digits will fire there. Between 2 and 4 digits, that picks up A12. That wasn't true before. And again, all the others, like even things with 5 digits, because it's saying, hey, is there between 2 and 4 digits? Yes. And then after that, there happens to be a 5. All right. This one is interesting to me. So if we have something, like sounds, like brr, it's cold, right? That could be spelled with 3 R's, 4 R's, or 5 R's, but not BR and not even BRR in my rule set. So we're looking for B and then anywhere from 3 to 5 R's, followed by an optional space, right? So with that pattern, the BR and BRR are not true, but the brr, brr, or brr, brr, brr is coming up as true. Now, the thing that's interesting to me is that 3 to 5 refers to just the one character before it. Like, what if we wanted to have the word repeat, the entire word? All right, so then we're going to put the whole thing in parentheses. So now we need BRRR space anywhere from 2 to 3 times, and that will be true in that case. So the parentheses, creating a group that the repetition direction will refer to that entire group. I was super interested in how they're going to deal with Whitespace. All right, so if you're just looking for a space, \D is any digit, the space \D. So we're looking for digit, space, digit. Now, one hassle with this is, so that matches 9 space 1, which is what I was thinking of, but it also matches 99 space 99, because in the middle of that whole thing is a digit, a space, and a digit. So if we want to say it has to start with a digit, then a space, and then end with a digit, you need that caret at the beginning that says it starts with, $sign at the end says it ends with, and that'll make sure that that one matches, but this one does not match. Okay, and then other kinds of white space. \T is a tab. \N is what you get when you press Alt-Enter. That's also known as a character 10. In VB, it's a VBLF. Some people call it a line feed. \R is a carriage return. That's a character 13, or a VBCR and VBA. And then \S is either a space or any of these three get counted as white space. Basically, think of it as some sort of white space. And then \not_s is saying that it would not be a space, right? So in my codes across the top here, this is \S, and this has an actual space there. And I also found, when I was looking to see how character 160 would be handled, that \H in some implementations of regex will give you more spaces. So here I have word, Alt-Enter, rep, and it gets caught by the \N, but it also gets caught by the \S, because remember, \S is looking for tabs, line feed, carriage return, or spaces. Okay, so non-breaking spaces. This is one that just never gets handled well by Excel. And if we're pulling data off of a website, we're just scraping data off a website, there's going to be character 160 spaces there. So right here, I have evilly used the formula to put in a number 1 and then 3 character 160s and then the number 9. All right, so does that get seen as digit, space, digit? No. Does it get seen as starting with a digit, a space, and ending with a digit? No. Does it get seen as any of these? No, but it does, thankfully, get seen as \S and \H. Now, out in Stack Overflow, they actually said that you'd have to use \H for this, and it seems like Excel is being better with this. Like they're understanding that when we say \S, they're treating the character 160 as a as a space. It sees it as a space. It doesn't see it when we just type a space, right? But if you use \s, you're going to get all of those spaces. All right. So here's the problem. So in this one, and then character 163 times 9, when I try and use trim in Excel will get rid of the interior repeated spaces. So that should change it to 1 space 9, but it doesn't see the character 160 as a space, so it doesn't do anything. So down here, I'm going to use RegExReplace. Let's just put that formula next to it. So I'm going to replace the \s with a real space. So that converts all those evil character 160 spaces to regular spaces right there. That's worth the price of admission. That formula, we should make that formula red because that's a formula I'm going to come back to again and again and again. And then once I've converted the evil character 160 spaces to regular spaces, then trim does the right thing. It's funny, the character 160 is the one that we run into all the time because the web is popular, but there's all kinds of weird spaces out there. And it very nicely, like a space character only matches a character 32, but in Excel anyway, \s, \h are both programmed to find all of these weird spaces, M spaces, N spaces, all kinds of weird things. We never run into any of these except for character 160, but maybe, if you're, I don't know why you would get any of these, but in case you do, great news, they're handled. All right, now look, there's one last thing here. And this is really, really powerful. All right, this is matching and then selecting a group from the selection. So here we're looking for any character. Plus means any number of any character, followed by specifically a period and then PDF, and ends there, right? There's nothing after PDF. So like this will get all of these files that are PDF files, but not the Excel files. All right, good enough. Let's modify that. I don't like now that I know that it's a PDF, I don't need to see the .pdf anymore. So I modify that pattern to put a parenthesis there. And that says the only part that I want is all of the characters up to the period. I don't want the period PDF. Get me everything before that. So check out that pattern with the group. That's called a group. I'm selecting a group. It will return everything up to the PDF. Now we had to modify this formula, the RegExExtract. There is an argument out here called return mode, and this is called a capture group of the first match. Right. So we have to change that argument. There really was just defaulting to 0 to be a 2 to make that work. It's pretty cool. All right. So then here I want to find everything that's an XL file. So either XLSX, XLSM, XLSB. I'm ignoring the templates for right now. And notice that I'm allowing either XMB and the question mark. That question mark is saying, hey, there could be 0 of those or 1 of those. So let me capture XLS. And it has to end with that, right? So all of these get us the file name here. Oh, except for this one. What's up with that? How did I don't know how I got the file extension to be capitals. Scatter and other graph template. That must be ancient. I have no idea how that's there, but it's there, right? So it's not being seen. So the modification here is to come out and do a case insensitive match. So the case sensitivity allows me to handle that. That's an important part. And then finally, all right, check out this awesome little bit of code. I took this one and I said, I want the file name. So that's the parenthesis. And then, hey, since I don't know what the file type is, go ahead. I don't want the dot, but I want everything else after that. So give me all of the stuff that's either XLS or XLSX or XLSM or XLSB and return that as a second group. All right, now for this one to work, and I mentioned this at the end of yesterday's video, I had an example. We're saying that we want the 2, so we're getting all of the groups. And when I do this, it's going to put the first thing here, the file name in this cell, and then it's going to put the extension underneath it. It's coming back as a vertical array. So I just have to transpose that to make it be a horizontal array. All right, but there I'm defining multiple groups and I'm getting them all. All right, so there you go. There's the RegEx 101. I think with this workbook, and by the way, you can download this workbook. There's enough examples here to get us through a lot. of the types of pattern matching that we might need to do. So there you go. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.
If you like these videos, please down below like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Feel free to post any questions or comments down in the comments below.